bearing with me on this. This is kind of a strange video. Not that any of our videos are normal. I just want to talk about this, my D500. And in my estimation, this actually is one of the most underrated cameras really ever. The reason why I say that is that, I mean, for me and for my needs, it's amazing. Now, let me walk you through this. And the first strange thing about this is I'm not going to really show you a single photo that I've taken with this camera, because I actually use this camera to earn money. And when it comes down to it, when you actually look at the work that I do, mostly corporate, I do a fair amount of advertising, and I shoot large or medium format digital advertising, and I have a D810 over there, and I have a few other. I've got a lot of cameras. But when it comes right down to it, this camera actually earns me more money than I think any other piece of equipment I own. And what it does really, really well. And so, and I really, and of course it's really funny because people say, well, it's crop sensor, it's not full frame. And ask anyone who shoots with a Fuji X series camera about crop sensors, because they don't seem to have a problem with it. So anyway, okay, so let me just run through why I love it. I love it because it's only 20 megapixels. I don't want 45 megapixels or 36 megapixels, or I've got a camera that'll do it. I've got a 50 megapixel camera if I want it. 20 is key because if I'm shooting, corporate work, doing portraits, doing really simple stuff, no one ever says to me, "Oh, gee, do you have a larger file?" I fill up hard drives more slowly. My computer is way faster dealing with 20 megapixel files. So there's that. So it's only 20 megapixels. It is a pro body. It is solid. And they didn't compromise too much in terms of construction and in terms of thinking things out. It is lightning fast autofocus. It has the same autofocus module as the D5, except of course, because it's APS-C, the number of focus points is the same, but they cover basically the entire frame as opposed to just the center of the frame. So that is great. I don't know, 5.5 frames a second, 6 frames a second, something like that. It has dual card slots, which is really nice. Both Xqd and then SD as well. And one of the things that I have about SD, as I pull it out very carefully, is that these things are so flimsy. I have broken some. I've never actually lost files off of a broken SD card, but that's just because I'm lucky. And I really love the Xqd cards. I love them, well, for a number of reasons, not the least of which are that they're totally robust. And I know you can get Sony Tough cards, and you can get other cards that are, other SD cards that are more durable than just your straight standard SD card. But the Xqd cards are tough. They're blazing fast. You can't hit the buffer on this camera using the Xqd card. It just won't happen. It'll happily take, It'll happily take 4K video, which this will shoot. It will happily take, basically whatever you throw at it, it will write it onto the card without any problem at all, which is really nice. So basically what you have is it's a bit of a beast, but it's not too bad. You have a 20 megapixel camera, lightning fast autofocus, Xqd card, so it writes quickly. It has all the the pro shutter. I've shot 138,000 frames with this so far, and and when I think about an upgrade, and I think about moving, say, to the Z6, which is 24 megapixels, it means that I have to change all of my lenses. Well, it doesn't. I don't have to change my lenses. I can use an adapter, but it would mean I have to change all my lenses, and it would also mean that I would I don't know. Every time I pick this camera up, I think, oh, what it does very well, and I'm eternally grateful that they actually came up with this camera. Nobody saw it coming when it was announced 4 or 5 years ago, I think. And ostensibly it was originally for sports shooters and wildlife shooters, because you get the 1.5 times crop on your lenses, so your 200 to 500 becomes a 300 to 750, so you get a lot more reach on your lenses, which is nice. But for me, it's worked out really well, and I pair it with my ancient Sigma 70mm f2.8 macro, which is such a lovely lens, and it's not very big, and it's not very heavy, and it's not very fast, either focus-wise or aperture-wise, but it works wonders. And on this camera, my 70mm is equivalent to 105. And then the other lens that I have, this was a bit of an indulgence, is the 58 1.4 that I love as well. Not as sharp as a lot of lenses, but then that's not why I have it. I have it because it's beautiful. And on this camera, it's a nice 85 1.4. And this is lightning fast. The focus is huge, hugely quick. So there you have it. I mean, it's only 2 minutes of me blithering away around a camera that I mean, I've over the years I've had, what have I had? D200, D300, D700, D3X, D810. I had what else did I have? I've had a bunch of Nikon cameras, D500, and D70. That was a while ago. But this is one of the very few cameras that does what it is asked to do flawlessly every single time I reach for it. Not the least of which being batteries last forever in this camera, which is really, really nice. And it's the same battery as the 810, which is nice, so I've got a whole bunch of them. So there you have it. It's, I'm sure there's people who don't care for it because it's not full frame, or people who would like it to be something that it isn't. But for what it is, I love it. And it has been very good to me. So there you have it.